Jeff and I are here at Gen Con talking to Shelly Mazzanoble from Wizards of the Coast. Shelly?
And this year we spoke with you last year.
Yes, we did. But this time we're live. You can see us, but not live, but you can see us.
Unfortunately, really, if we want to be honest. So I know we have a limited amount of time, so I want to, first of all, say thanks again for meeting with us and chatting.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And we did get to see the keynote address yesterday.
Yes,
I thought
the
Wizards
inaugural keynote.
Yes, it was a very nice job. I thought it was very cool.
Thank you.
Lots of smoke and, you know.
I
Yes,
know.
we were right there.
And Dio, when you walk in the door.
Yes.
So everybody was like, whoa, a keynote that has a smoke machine and Dio
and
playing?
metal? Yeah.
This is going to be a good
It was
keynote.
sweet.
And it was funny. We did have all the smoke. We were in the second row.
Gen Con attendees. Meeting guest of honor, Michelle Nichols is currently signing Star Trek 10 in the Mayfair booth until 5.
She has interrupted so many of our interviews.
We gotta go. Come on, get the pen.
Thank you, everyone.
Star Trek.
So you did get the smoke machine effect.
Yeah, well, we got the effect all right. We were wearing
The guy in front of us had it right in front of him. And he's just sitting there, he's typing on his pad, and smoke is billowing off of him.
I know.
And you could barely read what he was typing. That's how much.
It was funny.
Yeah,
It was very
I felt
funny,
bad
but it was
because
cool.
it was raining so hard too, and people were coming in from the rain and soaking wet, and it was
Yeah.
so cold in there anyway
Yes.
from the air conditioning.
We were part of that group too. We were like, let's grab something to eat before.
No.
But
Well, anyway,
so we already know that the target date, hopefully, fingers crossed, for D&D Next is 2014. So that's a way long time out in the
it
future.
could be even longer. Than
Right,
that, yeah, for all we
exactly.
know.
So let's talk about what's going on with Dungeons & Dragons now. I know the Underdark is the big deal.
Rising.
Yes.
Yes.
I did get to do a review of the survival guide.
Oh, good.
I thought it was great.
So you are very versed in how to survive in the Underdark.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Anywhere else, forget it. But yes, if I were in that situation,
Yep.
yes. The desert, nah, I'm a dead man.
No.
But in the Underdark, I'm okay.
Okay, good. Very good. So yes, we know that the campaign is called Rise of the Underdark, obviously. And when you hear that, you know, well, there's probably Drow involved in this campaign somewhere. And you know that Lulth is probably scheming somewhere. And she is. The campaign actually kicks off with her trying to become the new goddess of magic. Of course.
Spoiler alert, folks. Sorry, just have to point that out.
That's how it begins. And of course, she's got her drow minions doing her dirty work and coming up to the surface and acquiring these magical artifacts that are going to help give her power. Should she succeed, then the surface world will be engulfed in everlasting darkness. Nothing big about that.
That would be bad.
So it's based on reality.
Just totally, absolutely. So the D&D Encounters program, the in-store play program, this is where players really get to experience the full breadth of the story. There are 3 encounter seasons that will be happening through this Rise of the Underdark campaign, and if you want to know everything that happens in the story, that's probably the best way to do it, is to play in these campaigns. So the way that the first D&D Encounter season started was the adventurers were sent into the Underdark to investigate this very suspicious drow activity. That season is just wrapping up now. We were playing it in the office. I'm telling you, I've never almost died so many times in one 2-hour period of time. Like every time we would leave the game, we're like, whew, all right. At one point, I think I just threw down my character sheet and said, who wrote this? Seriously, we need to talk.
I need to talk to my dice here.
We really got to talk about this. So it's a dungeon master's dream because it is a very challenging season. This next season that's starting is called Council of Spiders. It actually starts next Wednesday. And this will be an interesting season as we are encouraging players to actually take on the role of a drow. So you'll get a chance to play an anti-hero in this season. Playing a drow, I don't know if you've ever played a drow or played in a drow campaign. So it's...
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
We're
no.
talking about the drow. We're going all the way back to, was it the D series of modules? Way back.
Yeah.
Yes, we're talking way back when it went from the giants, led into the drow series. So
So you
I
have
think,
experience with this.
oh my gosh. we're gonna have to chat.
It's been a couple of years.
Yeah,
A few
couple of
years,
years.
just a few
We're gonna have to
years.
check because we're really excited about the reprints of the first edition books.
Oh yeah,
We're
aren't they
so
gorgeous?
I haven't seen them. I want to get my hands on them because that's part of my childhood, really.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
it's also a portion of the proceeds are going to go to the Gygax
Gygax
Memorial
Memorial.
Fund,
Yeah.
so that's
Yep.
also
Yeah, well, they were very lovingly reprinted.
yes. So
was-
we'll have to take a peek at those.
Yes.
I assume they're
I think
floating around out here.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a question as far as with the play groups at the stores, the Encounter
Yes.
series. There is a comic book store that my brother actually visits in Naperville, Illinois called Graham Crackers Comics.
Okay.
And they did magic, they do some HeroClix stuff. And interestingly enough, I spoke with the manager and he was talking about different ways because he knows what we do.
Yeah.
And I said, talk to some of your reps you've got because there are other play sessions where they'll actually provide you the materials and that.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, it's
now
very turnkey.
they're actually running encounters at the comic
Nice,
store.
thank you.
Well, I'm sure your rep had a lot to do with it as well. But it's important to point out that it may not necessarily be only at a game store that somebody can jump in
Right.
into these. There's a lot of different places.
Yes.
So let's say somebody doesn't have a game store in their neighborhood or close by. How can they find the closest location?
Oh, funny you should ask. You should visit dungeonsanddragons.com and go to our store and event locator, which is made for just this purpose.
Wonderful.
Plug in your zip code and it'll bring up a bunch of stores near you, hopefully near you, that you can play our in-store play programs.
Fantastic.
Yes.
What's the storyline now for the Council of Spiders?
Well,
Yes,
okay,
I was
so
going to
you
jump back to
so you are actually playing as Drow. It's just a continuation of Lult's scheme, and so now you have kind of a different perspective. And also playing as a Drow, you will have a common goal as a party, but it's very likely that you're also going to have your own individual goals. And let's hope that nobody else in your party stands in your way. Because as you know, Drow are known as being very divisive. Very, they'll stab you in the back in a heartbeat.
Right.
They're
All the ones I've known.
all the ones that I've known too. And we're actually not making it difficult for players to do this. We have a new set of D&D fortune cards that are coming out this month called Drow Treachery. And even if you've never played with fortune cards in your game before, I think just try them out because they're just meant to be a fun enhancement to your gameplay, something to do quickly on your turn that just adds a special bonus. In this case, the fortune cards will give you a bonus, say, but if you were to maybe suffer an attack, then maybe you actually get a bonus. Or if you were actually I know, right?
like
It's
that.
very, treacherous, the Drow treachery. If you were taking a healing potion, he could roll a d4 and make you lose actual hit points for depending on what he rolls. So it's just like
So it's a very warm, fuzzy.
it makes you feel so good
campaign,
inside. Yeah, you're gonna make friends all over
lot
the
of
table.
harmony. Sure,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You sure it's Drow and not little like hobbits?
Seventh grade girls.
I said hobbits. Sorry, halflings.
Yeah, this is very typical Drow. So anyone who wants to experience
Sounds
Drow as
very-
their true nature.
I was going to say, it sounds very interesting that you would go with something like that because that's a whole different dynamic than people are used to in a game of Dungeons and Dragons because it's usually everybody's pulling together and
Yeah, exactly.
not so much here.
At first, I was horrified by the idea, and now I can't wait.
So there should be a third part
There is.
to this.
It's called War of Everlasting Darkness.
Okay.
And it starts in October, and this will be the conclusion. You'll find out if Lolth has actually succeeded in her plans.
I'm hoping not.
I
But
don't
then
know.
again, you're playing Drow in that second part. I guess you're hoping she does.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm conflicted.
Yes.
We'll have to tune in to find out.
In.
Right.
Yes, at a store near you.
Yes.
What other kind of products now are we talking about in the Dungeons and Dragons line? I noticed we have the Dungeon Command that just came out.
We have a
Right.
smattering. Yeah, do you guys experience Dungeon Command yet?
I have not.
Okay, well, you can do
we
that here.
should have review copies on our way, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so Dungeon Command it's a really fun new way to experience D&D. It's a miniature skirmish style board game. So it's you get a faction pack, and you build a war band, and then it's head-to-head combat, and it's played very, very quickly. You can play a whole game in about 45 minutes. So
I'm hearing good things.
I'm hearing good things too, which is making me very happy.
And I'm a miniatures gamer, so.
Yeah, and the miniatures can obviously be used in your tabletop campaign.
Sure.
There's the dungeon tiles that are in there. They can be used in the adventure systems game, so you can feel free to mix and match your components. And we have a new faction pack coming out in September next month for goblins. So if goblins are your thing, then... And they apparently are a lot of people's thing.
Goblins?
Yeah, everybody's really excited about the goblins faction pack. Sleeper hit? I don't know.
They're cool, but I just not exactly getting, oh, thank goodness, goblins.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool that you're going to have new faction packs that'll come out.
Yeah.
And like I said, I haven't gotten a chance to really see it up close and play, but I have heard really good things from people who play miniatures. So that's important too.
Yes, that's good.
You also have like a 3D terrain set?
Oh yeah, one of our licensed partners, Gale Force 9, they are doing amazing work for us. There is a whole Underdark 3D adventure set, as you mentioned, so it's just very, very artistic, and it really, I just want to get in there and play. I mean, the stalagmites and the stalactites and everything's really kind of gloomy, but really very, I don't know how else to say it, but Underdark-ish.
And there's no law against using that terrain for some other kind of game that you may have too. Nobody from Wizards is going to bang on your door and say, D&D only, man. What are you doing?
They might, but it's your risk.
Yeah, well, there's the disclaimer here.
No, they're really, it's so nice. I would imagine you would want to use it as often as you could.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe even as like a centerpiece for your dining room table. Who are we to judge?
Okay, I'm looking at it over here on the table.
I know. Well, and you can also...
It is really cool. I don't know what the centerpiece too.
to each their own, you know.
Oh, it is pretty cool.
It is. And they actually have
I don't know if we want to see the kind of home you live in if
it's decorated in Underdark accessories. My husband would actually love that.
One thing I did want to also ask about, and this is a little off topic as far as D&D, you're also an author.
Yes.
And I honestly, I'm sorry, off the top of my head, I can't pull the title out, but it's kind of like a girl's guide to Dungeons and Dragons.
Confessions of a Part-Time Sorceress.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't remember.
You got the subtitle right, though. The Girl's Guide to the Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game. Yes. Technically, I like long titles.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I did want to mention that.
Thank you.
It is nice to see that, because role-playing and gaming for a long time was predominantly male.
Right.
And we have seen over at least about the last 10 years a real shift.
Yeah, a surge.
That we're almost getting to the point where we're probably maybe 60-40-ish.
Ah, that's great.
As far as what we see as far as role players especially.
Yeah.
A lot of women getting involved in it, and it's really exciting.
We see that a lot, even just being here at Gen Con. I've been coming here for a long time, 10 years or so, and just there's so many more women that are not just walking the halls, but actually sitting down and playing the games, and even in the booths themselves. So it's just showing there's even a lot more women who are working in this industry, which is...
And we would love to see that.
Yeah.
We really, really would.
It's good.
Because it has been a male-dominated genre, really, for a long time. And it's about time, because, things get old fast.
Women
and when you get fresh blood in there, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
And what a fantastic idea. No one ever thought of that.
Yeah. Any way you can grow the hobby is a good way, as far as I'm concerned. It just means that it's healthy. There's more people coming in, regardless of gender or age or interest. I mean, as long as there's new people coming in, then obviously we're all doing something right.
And we love the Gen Con atmosphere. We love conventions anyway.
Yeah.
Gen Con, I believe, I'm not going to speak for Elliott, but it is my favorite show, and it's a very inclusive feeling when you're here, and it doesn't matter what people play.
I agree. I say that a lot about...
It's not as cliquish as
No, it really does feel like everybody's here with the same common agenda, the same goal. They're just happy to see each other. They're happy to be sitting down and playing these games, and even the people who are working here are just happy. And this whole town is actually incredibly welcoming. Even just being at the airport when we landed, special welcome to those of you who are attending Gen Con. Like, you feel it as soon as you
Right.
get off the plane.
It's my favorite
Awesome.
show.
Me too.
Any?
I believe there's a few supplements that are coming out as well.
Such as Enzo Doranzan,
Yes.
The City of Intrigue. This is a great campaign guide. It's for obviously the City of Intrigue, Menzo Baranzan, and it's everything you could possibly want to know
She rolls
about
off
this
your
city.
tongue.
Well, it's my last name is Mazzanoble.
Yes,
Like, it's
I know.
kind of very similar.
Yes.
I was actually, I think years ago when I started working at Wizards, somebody made like a Drow reference to me, and I'm like, I don't know anything.
Are you
A
crazy?
few years later, it made sense, but
Sure.
I don't even know what that. But this is a really great book. If you have any interest at all in Drow society, there is a wealth of information in here. There's beautiful maps in here. Everything you need to run a campaign, a Drow-centric campaign. Dungeon masters get campaign hooks, ways that you can really enhance this Drow campaign. Players can learn about alien. What am I trying to say? It's so like it's late in the day. Associating themselves with a Drow house and the benefits that will come with that, and also ways that you can enhance your own personal campaign. So again, while you all may be adventuring together, it gives you ideas of things like you might have this agenda going on in your head, and you may have this agenda too, and I have my own agenda, and then it just really takes the game up to a whole different level.
Sure.
And then just really great information about the city and beautiful art in the book. It's one of my favorite books that we've put out.
We'll have a review of that soon too.
Oh, very
So,
nice.
yes.
Good. Yeah, and then of course we have the dungeon tiles and we have dungeon maps that are all Underdark centric too. So you can have a really robust campaign if your campaign takes place in the Underdark.
Going all out Underdark.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice because this is an entire story that's happening throughout the course of the year, and there's no matter how you want to engage with D&D, you're getting little bits and pieces of that story.
Sure.
So if you want to play video games or even just have a cell phone case that has the Drow symbol on it, there's many different ways for you to engage with D&D through the story.
And weren't the Drow kind of a little forgotten for a while as far as Dungeons and Dragons? They were kind of underrepresented because they
think
were
so.
pretty seriously good villains.
Oh yeah. So I know a lot of dungeon masters that just don't like having Drow in their campaigns for some reason. I think as a dungeon master, you would love to have villains like that in your campaign.
Maybe it just makes their job a little tougher.
Maybe, I don't know. But I think we're throwing them in there now. So
Fantastic.
say yes to the Drow.
Any other last words you'd like to share with our viewers?
I just I love this campaign. Just because I didn't know that much about Drow before, and now the more I get to know about them, the more I love them. And I actually am a supporter of Lolth as well. I've been converted. I'm one of her
So
minions.
your family, when you're talking with your family, they're like, "All right, enough of the Drow."
Yeah,
Shelly, all right.
it's just the whole
Can we
Spider
talk about Glee?
Queen.
No.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No. So D&D Encounters, if you want to be fully immersed in the story, great place to try it out.
And good way to meet new friends who game.
Absolutely, yeah. If you don't have your own gaming group going on right now, then just drop into your local game store. I'm sure you can find some willing participants.
Fantastic.
Any plans for the 2013 campaigns?
There will be. There will be activity. There will be organized play.
There will be play.
There
and
will be
Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons. You don't have to wait 2 years for Dungeons and Dragons. There will always be Dungeons and Dragons.
Even if you guys never published another item ever again, there will always be Dungeons
There will
and
always
Dragons.
be. You always have stories in your head.
right.
So
Yes.
as long as you have that, as long as you have your imagination, you can have D&D.
But we know D&D's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. Not at all. And you should you should participate in the playtest. I know you guys are. Anyone else who wants to have their voice heard or just help shape the next iteration, whatever that may be,
If somebody wanted to participate in a playtest, where would they go?
they should go to dndnext.com. And you'll find all the information you need to sign up for the playtest. It's very easy to sign up. It's very easy to download your packets. And you can always get information at dungeonsanddragons.com.
And it's free.
And it's free. And we want to hear from you. So,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Okay, great. Shelly, thank you very much for talking to us today. And we'll take it back.